Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome. I appreciate you guys coming back. So when it comes to the talents on the guns, I think most people right now are using the flatline because everyone thinks that the flatline is the best DPS, the best damage talent out there right now, which is a little bit true but not quite 100%. There is ways that INSYNC, which was the previous best DPS talent, there is a way that INSYNC can be better than flatline. So with that said, on this video I want to show you guys how INSYNC can be the best DPS, best damage talent that you can have on a build. Now this is not to throw a shade at anyone, maybe these people have not tested yet, because I see people testing the damage talents only on DPS builds, like the full damage builds, which is the first mistake. So I'm gonna explain all of that in a second. So what I'm gonna say is flatline is not always the best damage talent. So for today's video I want to show you guys this build right here. This is a build that I put together that has a lot of armor regen and a lot of armor on kill. If we go on the stats, right on the defense, we have 384,000 armor on kill and 72,000 armor regen with a 1.9 million armor on this build. This is a build that some people like using, some people like having for PvP or PvE, right? So just a quick roundup how the build works, right? I have 2 pieces of golden gear that gives me status effect and armor regen. I have 1 piece of Usina Gagica that gives me 5% total armor. I have 2 pieces of Bellstone armory that gives me 1% armor regen and 10% armor on kill. And then the last type of brand set that I have on the build will be that Murakami Industry, which is a 20% skill duration, but this one is actually a name item that's gonna give me a 1% on the attributes for armor regen, right? So that's why I have this. This is not even perfect, by the way, but that's beside the point. The talent on the chest piece will be the perfect spotter. That doesn't matter for what we're gonna be testing for. And then the talent on the backpack also, it's the perfect bloodsucker, which also it doesn't matter for what we're gonna be testing for. So what matters, you guys can see I have a full tank build. I have 6 core armor on this build, right? So I have a lot of armor, so that means I have a lot less damage overall. So if I take a look at the offensive, I have 18% all weapon damage and then 30% assault rifle damage. That's gonna put me at 48% weapon damage for this AR with my Police M4. So my Police M4 has flatline, damage target out of cover, and all that jazz. So this is the build that I'm gonna show you guys. Now we're gonna come in here on a specialization and we're gonna change that gunners just for the technician specialization, just because with the technician specialization, if I go on my gun, I can change this underbarrel, which is a 5% crit chance that I have in there, for this link laser pointer right here, which is gonna give me 100% pulse time against my enemies. Now with that said though, I am missing 5% crit chance when I swap that, so that is gonna be a decrease, by the way. That's gonna be a decrease on your DPS, not the damage per bullet, but your DPS overall. It's gonna decrease because of 5% that you're losing right there, just so keep that in mind also. Now with the technician, now we can activate pulse for flatline and also for the perfect spotter at all time. We have this activate. So let's go for the fire range. Now on the fire range, we're gonna put this on named enemies. We're gonna put on the 5 meter distance and we're gonna shoot that, right? So let me show you guys the build again. This is the build that I have. The stats gonna be this right here. You guys can memorize that. 54%, 93, 75 headshot damage, and all weapon damage is going to be a total of 48%. With that said, let's check this flatline. So on the head, 266 with a flatline crits, and then on the body shots, 191 crits with a flatline. So remember those numbers, right? I'm gonna put these numbers on the screen. That's gonna be for the flatline. So what I'm gonna do to make this fair as possible, I'm just gonna use the same weapon and just waste my resources and change this flatline for INSYNC, and let's test this out. So let's go over and change this out right now. Okay, now we are back here with the same build, right? So this is the build. We have the police M4. Now instead of flatline, we have INSYNC with the same build. So stats wise, we're gonna take a look. 54 crit chance, 93% crit damage, 75% headshot damage, right? With a total of 48% all weapon damage from assault rifle and all weapon damage, right? So that's gonna be 48%. So the way we're gonna do this, we have it on named enemies, 5 meters. The way I like to activate my INSYNC, usually I just put my drone out, I'll aim at the enemies, right? And now let's see the numbers that we have. So on the body shot, we're having 200 on crit, and then on the headshot we're getting 278 crits. So you guys can see the difference. The reason why INSYNC is winning against the flatline in the moment is because we have not a lot of damage on this build. The reason why, right, because flatline is a multiplicative type of damage talent. So on this build we only have 48% all weapon damage. So the less damage you have overall on the build, the less advantage of a amplified talent will take from a build like this. So that's where a additive talent, which is INSYNC, will take more advantage of a build like this, and that's the whole reason. So that's what we have right now. Before we finish this video, I know people is gonna ask for the perfect flatline, so let's test that out. We have a king breaker in here, which is this, and we're gonna also use the TKB 408, which is the same weapon type as the king breaker. So we're gonna add the Lincoln laser pointer to both of them, this one too. And now let's test them out, right? We have the just a regular INSYNC on this, which is 30% total additive damage, and then 20% amplified damage on the perfect flatline. So first let's try the perfect flatline from the king breaker. So let's test this out. On the head we have 349, on the body 251 crits. So now we're gonna switch from the king breaker to the TKB, which is the same as the king breaker on anything, right? Everything, it's just it has the talent INSYNC. So let's check this out. INSYNC versus perfect flatline, right? So now with the INSYNC we're gonna put our drone out there and we're gonna shoot this target right here. So on the head we get 353 with the INSYNC, and then on the body shots 254 crits. So you can see even with the perfect flatline there is a difference in there. The difference it's minor though, because perfect flatline does give a lot more damage. It's 20% instead of 15% compared to the regular flatline, right? So that gap is a lot smaller, but you have an idea how this works. So INSYNC still beat the perfect flatline on the build like this with a lot of armor and not a lot of damage overall. So that's all I have for you guys for today's video. That's the thing about INSYNC versus flatline, that I've been seeing a lot of people using flatline for everything, which is, it's your choice, you do whatever you want. But if you want the best of the best on the build like this though, with not a lot of damage overall, INSYNC will be the best option. And test that out for yourself and see how you come up with your numbers. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There is more misinformation on the community about many different other things, talents that are stronger than other talents that you didn't know, and talents that are multiplied instead of additive. So there is a lot of more information that is misinformation out there that I want to make videos about. So if you don't want to miss all of that, subscribe for more. And if you enjoyed this video, a like on the video would be super appreciated. Smash that like for me, I would appreciate it. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.